we're getting in here like a couple minutes early because I'm using a brand new streaming platform that I've never used before. And I'm just hoping that it works properly. But we're gonna see how it goes. I think it seems like it's working. So I'm using a platform called Restream. It's very cool. We're actually streaming on multiple platforms right now at once. We're on YouTube, Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook. I think that might be it. Somewhere else. I don't know. I feel like we're everywhere right now. So I'm very very excited that you guys are here. I'm gonna play around with this. I'm hoping that everything is not like I'm hoping that you guys can like see everything and hear everything. So today we are going to be talking about what successful creators are doing in 2023, which I am very excited about because this year, maybe it's just me. I don't know. This year feels like very different to me. It feels like so good, so exciting. And so I'm really excited to like get the year started off with you guys in this very, very exciting seminar that we're doing today. I actually went through and planned seminars for the entire year. We'll do one every few months, so that is very, very exciting. Also, side note for anyone who is commenting from Facebook, I can only see that it says Facebook user, so if I don't like call you out by name, please know that's why. But I am actually trying to like watch it in the same I'm trying to watch it on Facebook over here so that I can actually see who's commenting because I love like being able to actually converse with you guys. So we'll see how that goes. Yep, see ya. Inception. Okay. All right, guys, I wanted to wait until 12 to get started. First thing that I want to hear is where are you guys all from? Who's tuning in? Where is everyone tuning in from? I am over here in Charlotte, North Carolina. It is disgusting out today. We're not very excited about that. Oh, I can see some of your names. Okay, Ashley, great afternoon. Hello. Louisiana. Okay, I'm going to guess that's Hannah. Rhode Island. Ashley's in Charlotte. Yes. So, for any of my Charlotte people listening, as a side note, I'm really, really excited because I am actually going to be hosting events in Charlotte. A shameless plug. The first one that we're hosting is on February 4th. It's a Saturday. It's called Books and Buddies. We are collaborating with a rescue that I work with, a dog rescue called Billy's Buddies, and we're doing a big book swap. So, anyone in the North Carolina area, in Charlotte, wherever you are, like come hang out. I'm so excited. You get books, you get to hang out with dogs, there's gonna be an ice cream truck there. I tried to make it like really just what are all the things I love in life? Dogs, books, ice cream. That pretty much explains it. Okay, so the time of the event is from 1 to 3. It's at Camp North End. Send me a message after if you're from Charlotte, and I'll send you we've got a whole cute little flyer put together. So, all right, guys, we'll dive into it. I'll stop talking about things that you didn't come here for. So I am going today to be talking about what successful creators are doing this year in 2023. How many of you guys are going to really be taking your creator career, your creator journey really seriously this year? Like, is this the year for you guys? Again, I don't know what it is. It feels like this year just feels so different. I'm so curious, where are you guys in your journey? And what is your plan for this year? Are you going to be taking it seriously this year? This is the year we're killing it. Or is that just me? That would be me. Okay, I love that. That's Hannah. I'm watching live comments over here, so if I keep looking over here, that's why. Casey said this is it. Yes, Emma, 100%. I love to hear it, guys. Okay, so we are going to go through some really, really helpful tips that I think will actually really help you guys this year in 2023. Also, I would like to just tell you that at the end, we're going to have time for questions. All of the good stuff. We'll probably be here about an hour, but you guys know me, and I say an hour, and like I'll chill until you want me to stop. I could truly talk all day. So first things first, before we dive into it, spread the word, guys. The best compliment you can give me for putting on this free workshop for you guys and for sharing any of the content that I share is to tag me, share with your friends, and as an incentive, because I, again, love to talk, I want to talk with one of you guys on a free coaching call. So someone who tags us in stories today, it's going to be random, and we're going to pick someone to get a free coaching call. So take a photo throughout the seminar, whatever you want to do. Tag us. That's my handle right there. And I'm so excited. I want to meet all of your friends too. I feel like in order to really make the creator economy more transparent, make it more fair, more of a community, we have to share, like we can't keep all of our secrets to ourselves. We've got to be telling everyone about, the things that help us become successful. Because if everyone is successful, then we have to basically fight a lot less hard to get the rates that we want, right? So go ahead and tag us. The handle is KBoost. I'll be looking at all of them after, taking note, and then after the 24 hours after this seminar, we will go ahead and pick a random winner. So, hey, so excited. Okay, also make sure if you have questions, you can drop them in the chat as we're going through. I can see them. And then also you can definitely wait till the end, ask your questions then as well. But we definitely will have time for questions, so don't worry about that. So this is our lineup for this afternoon. And I guess if you're listening on the East Coast, it is technically afternoon now. So we're going to first be talking about business plans. We're going to talk about storytelling, building connections, long form content, utilizing AI, being a sponge, and utilizing SEO. These are some of the things that I think are going to be very important building blocks for the year of 2023. Before we go in too far, though, I do want to introduce myself. I know a lot of you guys are coming in from the Facebook group, and my people in the Facebook group, you guys, I love you. We all know each other. If you don't know me and we haven't had a chance to meet yet, my name is Kristen. I am the founder and CEO at SocialMate, where our whole thing is really trying to keep the soul in social media. I have gone through so much in my social media career that my goal really is to help you do this in a way that's sustainable, that's comfortable, and that is not like just killing your mental health, because we already have enough things that are probably doing that. I have been a creator since 2008. Okay, guys, in 2008, I started a blog. It went nowhere, by the way, but I've been riding the wave since then. In the last 3 years, I've made about $350,000 from creator to brand partnerships that I've done, and then about $500,000 in total, considering all of my coaching as well. So I feel like I've done a lot in the last few years that I'm able to really teach you guys what is going to be important and what is going to be helpful for you to actually succeed. I'm also the host of Social Scoop Podcast. If you guys haven't heard the podcast yet, I would love to hear actually some comments from people, because I know a lot of you guys in the comments are very hype about the podcast. So if you listen to the podcast, let everyone know what you think here. We every Tuesday and every Thursday release a new episode of Social Scoop. Tuesday, we interview someone who's in the industry, an industry expert, and really get some good, like, actionable steps on things that you can do to be a better creator, to build your business. And then we also, on Thursdays, as of this year, we started doing a series called Coached, where we actually coach someone inside of our private membership community, which is called the Social Suite. I'll tell you more about it later. But yes, I love to see the hype around the podcast. Yes, Carissa, I loved that episode with her. Carissa's actually someone who started off as one of my coaching students and is now one of my like actual best friends. She stayed at my house for a week last year. We had the best time ever. Oh my God, you guys, I need to like screenshot these comments. I'm so excited that you love the podcast. It's my favorite part of my job. So I would love to continue doing it like forever. All right, guys. So let's dive into it. I'll stop talking about nonsense. I told you I could literally talk all day. So how can you start making more progress in your creator business? How can you do it? Okay. First thing that we're going to talk about is a business plan. And if you watched, I made an Instagram video about this recently. It's funny because I've been a business owner for what feels like a billion years, and I've never actually sat down and created like, this is my business plan for the year. I don't know why. I really don't know why, but I decided, okay, fine. We're going to do it this year. Because like I said, this year's the year, right? Like this year's the year that we're doing it. So I want to know, first of all, in the chat, I want to know, like, what's your big goal this year? What are you guys working on this year that is like this is what 2023 is going to be for me. For me, I have a few goals. I really want to blow up the podcast. I really want to get people into the membership because it's so awesome. And then I also want to do more speaking opportunities. So those are kind of like my top 3 goals for the year. I would love to hear what you guys are working on for this year. And then I asked myself, okay, if those are my goals for this year, what are the things that I can do to actually achieve those goals? And I made myself actionable steps for each of those goals so that it's so easy for me to know what I need to do this year. I have no question about what I need to do this year because I know my goals and I'm thinking these are the things that I can do to actually make them happen. So I sat down and said, these are my 3 things that I'm focusing on. These are the things that I can do to actually take action on those goals. And then I also asked myself in this business plan, all right, my goals are this, my action plan is this, but who am I even doing all of this for? Like, who are the people that I'm talking to? Like, who are the people that are going to get value out of this? And so I asked myself really in depth, who is my target audience? And I actually made 3 separate personas of these people that are going to be interested in my content. So we have someone who's just getting started as a creator, someone who's been a creator but needs to take it to the next level, and then someone who's maybe a full-time creator but wants to level up even more. So what I did with these 3 personas is I figured out what are the things that really drive value for them and what are their pain points. So when I'm creating content, I know who I'm talking to and I know exactly what they need, right? And it's easier for me to create that content. So I think the target audience point is actually a very, very important part. Instead of just saying, I target women ages 18 to 25. Okay. Who are they? What are they thinking about? What keeps them up at night? What are their frustrations? Like those are the things you need to think about for the person that you're talking to as a potential follower in your audience so that you can do a better job for them. Okay, for goals, I see building a community on TikTok, starting a newsletter, build a strong community outside of social media, release presets. I want to land my first paid deal, building a website, a landing page, building my portfolio. Okay, goals, paid stays, and trips with a focus on working with local tourism boards. Ooh, actually, so Ashley, for that one, I'm recording a podcast episode in the next month that's literally going to go over this exactly. So that will be definitely one that you'll want to listen to. I love these goals, guys. Like these are big goals, and I love to see it. I love to see it. I also love to track on my business plan what my income projections and goals are. And basically, the way that I set this up was I said, okay, this year I want to make this much money. How much do I need to do each month to make that happen? And essentially, from there, I'm able to kind of like track as the month is going on. Okay, my goal was to make this amount of money. We're not really close to that. I got to ramp it up a little bit so that I can get there. And it kind of just helps like light a fire under your ass a little bit more because sometimes we need the little push, we need the little motivation to actually make it happen. So, like if looking at a number and saying, I'm not really close to that, I gotta do something about it. If that works for you, then I think that's a great idea. Also, host a group trip, I see as a goal. I love that. Megan, yes. I would definitely love to help with that if anyone needs it. I'm actually hosting the beginning of March. We're doing a trip to Cancun, a creator retreat. And I'm also secretly, but I guess not so secretly anymore, planning a US based trip with a good friend of mine who's a creator that you guys love. I already know. So I'm very excited about that. I want to bring my Slack community to reach 10,000 members. That's amazing. Let's see. My goal is taking what I already do and leveling up, create better content, focusing my time fully on content creation. Yes. Getting into like a good streamlined process. You're like speaking to my soul right now. My type A soul loves this. So the second thing that I think is really, really important for creators to focus on this year specifically is storytelling. Think about the difference between social media like a couple years ago and now. Like think about when you're scrolling, what makes you stop? And every single time, guys, that I see a video that someone's starting off with like, oh my gosh, so my boyfriend broke up with me and I have to tell you this story. Like whatever it is, I just have to watch. I need to know how the story ends. I can't be alone in this. Tell me I'm not alone. This is something that really, really intrigues people because people love to hear about how other people live, right? Storytelling. And storytelling doesn't necessarily have to be like, today I did this, and then I went here, and then I ended up here. And it like goes through the story arc, right? But it is going to be something that takes your viewer or your reader on a journey in some sort of memorable way. I was actually very, very weird example. I think his handle is just Chris. I was watching one of his TikTok videos this morning, it came up on my FYP, and he was basically saying about how he like went to get STD tested and he like told the person who was testing him that he was gay. She said her son was gay and she's like, "Here's his name." And so she gives him the name and he went home and looked it up and it was like the boyfriend of someone who ghosted him last year or something. So it's like this funny story, but totally has nothing to do with my life. Didn't really add any value to my life, but I had to watch to the end because I needed to know how the story ended. So it is such a powerful tool to get people engaged and watching till the end of the video, which if you don't know, that is called retention. Keeping a retention rate that is high is going to push your videos out more. It signals to TikTok, to Reel, to YouTube Shorts that people are paying attention to the whole video. It must be good, right? Let's push it out to more people. So, what you can do for storytelling to kind of make this process work for you a little bit more, identify your clear message that's going to resonate with your audience. So, a lot of the times for me, that might be telling a story about how I got a brand partnership, or it might be a story that is about how I had this really bad experience with this brand. Something that I know is going to resonate with my audience, probably teach them something, but it's a very clear message of the story that I'm telling. Also, you are going to be like telling this story so vividly, like you want someone to know that they were there or think that they were there, right? Like think about how if you got on FaceTime with your best friend after you had this like crazy experience happen to you or whatever it is, think about how you would tell that story to that friend. That's exactly what you need to do with storytelling. Typically, it's going to have a clear beginning, middle, and end. But one thing that you can actually do is like bring the conclusion to the beginning of the video. So you can say, "Oh my gosh, I just had the most nightmare experience with this brand. Let me tell you how it happened." So the nightmare experience probably happens towards the end, right? But the whole process of like getting up to it and why it was a nightmare experience is kind of like the beginning and the middle. So you can take the end to the beginning of the video, still storytelling. However, it might intrigue someone to listen a little bit more because they heard the conclusion, but now they want to know how to get there. Or another example of that might be, oh, there's the dogs. Another example of that might be if I were to say, I landed a $20,000 partnership with this brand. Let me tell you how I did it. That's the end. That's the conclusion. But I'm going to tell you about the process on how I got there. And I think you guys would probably all agree. Those videos are really interesting to watch because you hear the end and you're like, man, I want to know how to do that. All I have to do is watch to figure it out. Cool. Like that's easy, right? Also, use dialogue that's going to make it more relatable to your audience. That's very important. So, for example, this Chris kid that I was talking about with the funny video about the guy that ghosted him, right? So he is talking in that video like he's like literally FaceTiming with his best friend. Like he's like swearing, he's like, has this like sass that is going on. That's how he talks to his friends, I'm sure. But like you want to talk to your audience the way that they're expected to be talking to. So someone like that, if he was like this guy that's just like super sassy and he is like talking like he's talking to his friends, and then one day he comes on TikTok to tell a story and he's like in a suit and he's like super professional and he's like, so today I'm going to teach you guys about, like whatever. You guys would be like, wait, what, dude? Like, this is not who you are. Like, we're so confused. He might storytell still, right? But he's not using any sort of dialogue that is making it relatable for you, the audience. So it's important to talk to your audience the way they expect to be talked to. If you've set the bar on this is how I engage with my audience, and then you do something different, they're gonna be confused. They're gonna be like, what's going on? We don't know what's going on. And then they get confused and leave, which is not what we want, right? So, how do you guys feel about storytelling? I would love to hear a little bit more. Does this make sense? Do you have any questions about storytelling so far? You would be actually really surprised if you were to go after this, go scroll through TikTok, through Reels, whatever, and watch how many videos that you stop at that actually do have that like storytelling process that they go through, beginning, middle, end. Like, you'd be really surprised how easy it is to fit into your content without feeling like you have to like read a book and be like very specific about the way that you go through it. So that's storytelling. Also, one thing is, you guys may know, I like to focus my business and the way that I teach creators is obviously to be successful and to build a business, but also to do it in a way that is going to protect your mental health. I've talked very openly on my podcast, even on Instagram, things like that, about how last year I went through burnout. I was in and out of the hospital. Like, it was a really tough year for me mentally. And that really changed the way that I worked. And I decided, okay, I can't work myself to the bone anymore, but I also need to have people around me that can help me feel good. And that's something I think we could probably all agree on. I'd actually love to hear in the comments, you guys, if you do feel alone as a creator. I know for me, locally here in Charlotte, there definitely are creators. I'm not like best friends with any creators here in Charlotte. And so I do feel very often that I don't have anyone around me here that I can just like call and that like knows what I'm going through as a creator. And I think that's like a very, very common thing. I hear that from a lot of creators. The job is really lonely when you're working for yourself, especially in an industry that is like kind of not like weird, but different. It's new. Not everyone like understands it totally, right? And so it is very lonely, confusing, frustrating, all the things. I wrote lovely here. Okay. I meant lonely, but it is also very lovely. So, first of all, if you're going through that feeling of this is something like I feel very alone, I don't feel like I have the community around me that I need who understands me, that's like something that everyone goes through. So I hope you guys know that you're definitely not alone there. There's two things that I would suggest doing. Shameless plug. We have a great creator community where we do actually monthly calls. So every month we all get on a Zoom call, and anyone who's here that's been on the Zoom calls, I know that some of you guys are in here. These calls are so much fun because we're able to literally get together as an intimate group of creators who literally are all going through the same things. No matter what level everyone is at, like, we're all going through the same things. And it really just makes you understand that, like, you're not alone. You have all these people around you that are doing the exact same thing and feeling the exact same way. And so these calls are such a great way to kind of like boost your morale a little bit. Every time we have one of these calls, I leave feeling so inspired, and I'm the one hosting them. So it's really, really cool to just be surrounded by other creators who get you. And there's not a lot of opportunities for that for whatever reason. So I'm really like, I feel really lucky that I've been able to build a community where we can do that and we all can kind of like get together. Also, there's this app called Meetup. I just learned about this. It lets you host or join local meetups near you. So you might go on to meetup.com and type in social media or photography or content creator and see if there's anything there that seems like it might be able to kind of like fill maybe a void that you have. I know for Andrew and I, we went to two meetups this week. On Monday, we went to like a book meetup where everyone just like talked about books. And then on Tuesday, we went to a game night meetup where we just met a bunch of people that we probably would have literally never met or talked to. And it was great. We had a lot of fun. So there definitely are ways to meet people, but it just can be, first of all, a little difficult to find these methods, but it also mentally, I feel like sometimes can be a little difficult because you're like, I don't want to go to like this game night. I'm not going to know anyone. Like, this will be weird. You have to get over the mindset of that, though. You've got to shift your mindset to like, if I don't put myself out there and I'm not open to being part of these communities, then how is anything ever going to change? So that's something I think is really important to think about this year. We can go through and be like super successful, and this year we can make a bunch of money. But like, if you're mentally feeling alone and depressed and frustrated and like you don't have anyone, what's the fun of like making all of this money? So I thought it was something that would be really important to mention to you guys. So this year, okay, we are not sending cold pitches, or we're sending way less cold pitches, and we are moving on to what I call the anti-pitch method. We are going to focus on making connections with the brands that you want to work with so that you are top of mind when collaborations come to fruition. So, for example, I know, and I would again love to hear in the comments, how many of you guys, wait, I have a good question for you first. How many pitches are you guys sending out a month? How many cold pitches are you emailing or DMing to a brand every single month? And then I also want to know, how many of those do you, on average, get responses to? What's the percentage, would you say? Really curious to hear this answer, because I bet you would be very surprised to see that most people have the same situation going on. I would love to hear more about that. So, how many partnerships are you pitching each week, or sorry, each month? And how many of those are actually coming to fruition? So we had Jenny who said, what is a cold pitch? A cold pitch is basically where you are sending the brand an email, just introducing yourself to work together. So you might send them an email and say, hey, this is my name. I really love your brand. I'd love to work together. Da, 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 da. Okay. Right. That's a cold pitch. So 4 cold pitches. Amanda said, I send 0 pitches. Honestly, I don't disagree with that. Sending cold pitches sucks. We had Megan who said 5 to 10 pitches and maybe 2 responses. And honestly, I think that's pretty impressive. We had Emma who said, I just started again this month after taking almost a year off. Sent 4 emails, got 1 response. Also pretty good stats, honestly. I get more responses in the DMs, which is very new for you. Okay, so I mean, moral of the story is like you're spending a lot of time pitching, and like we don't know how many responses you're gonna get. It's not always a very good amount for the amount of work that you're putting in, right? So that is what a cold pitch is. I don't think they're the absolute worst thing in the world. I just think they're kind of a waste of time. If you have all of the time in the world, please send cold pitches all day. That's fine. But most of us do not have unlimited time. Time is very, very valuable. And so I prefer personally to use it in a way that I know I'm going to get some sort of good return from it, right? So this is why we created the anti-pitch method. The whole premise, and we have a whole masterclass that's free on the anti-pitch method. If you guys want this link, send me a DM on Instagram or on TikTok. I don't know. Instagram is always just easier. So send me a DM on Instagram if you would like the link to the masterclass. I'll send it to you. But the anti-pitch method, the premise of it is that you are finding the brands you want to work with. You're finding the people that work at these brands, finding a way to communicate with them that's organic. You're spending time building a relationship with them. And then when a partnership comes up that you would be a good fit for, they're like, oh, yeah, oh my God, Kristen, she's so great. Like, I've talked to her so many times. Now that we have money, let's pay her. She's a great fit. And that's literally how it works, guys. Like, sending a cold pitch is extremely difficult to land a partnership from, because you have to be the right creator for the right brand for the right campaign at the right time. There are so many moving parts that it's not that you suck, Like, these cold pitches aren't like not working because they're like, oh, this person sucks, I hate them. It's literally because it's just not lining up all of those things. And it's so difficult to make that happen, which is why I think building connection is the way to do it. Okay. Building connection, using this anti-pitch method, then you are just networking your way into partnerships this year. I forgot it's a new year. In 2022, guys, I probably sent maybe 3 cold pitch emails the entire year. Everything that I did was anti-pitch last year, and I was able to make over $100,000 in partnerships. So like, it works. It's proven. I talk with a lot of people that I've taught this method to that really, really love it. So we had Emma who said, does this work with extremely large brands as well as large makeup companies? Yes, it definitely does. For example, I have worked with just very recently a company called Thinkific. Thinkific is one of the biggest course building companies out there, and I was able to land a $10,000 partnership with them, did not send them a cold pitch. So it doesn't really matter the size of the brand. You just have to find the right person and work on connecting with them. And again, for anyone who needs to learn more about the anti-pitch method, you can do that through our free masterclass. Send me a DM on Instagram and I will send it to you guys. All right, 12:28 p.m. check-in. How's everyone doing? How are you guys feeling? I'm looking at my page over here and it looks like I'm lagging a little. I don't care about the video, but can you guys hear me okay? Let me know. Okay, perfect. Yeah, Amanda said she worked with a brand based on literally just sharing her love for the body butter. Perfect. Yay. Okay, thank you, Megan. All right, guys. Anti-pitch method. You guys will love it. I'm excited to introduce you to it. Now, you heard me say long form content before, and I feel like everyone is like, wait. Didn't we just have to learn short form content? And yes, you did. But I think that it's worth talking about long form content here because I have an inkling that things are going to slowly slide back into long form. And if we can get you comfortable with it now, I think over time you'll be like feeling really good about it. First things first that I have to say, and maybe this is an unpopular opinion, I truly think that trends, like trending sounds, are very slowly phasing out. I think on Instagram Reels, they're already like phasing out pretty quickly. But on TikTok, yes, we still love trends on TikTok, but I'm seeing them a lot less, I would say. I'm seeing a lot more again storytelling and things like that versus just people like posting trends. Now, if you are building your notoriety on TikTok or on YouTube Shorts or whatever solely based on trends, I think it's going to be very, very difficult for you to monetize through partnerships. I also think it's going to be very difficult for you to create a community that knows you and genuinely cares about what you have to say. So, for me personally, I don't think it's a bad idea to post a trend once in a while, whatever, but I don't think that you guys should focus solely on trends this year. I think it's going to phase out. It's going to get old very quickly. Long form content is obviously much more comprehensive. It's way better for storytelling. Like, why do we think that everyone, when TikTok only had a very small, 30 seconds that you could post, they made it so you could do 60 seconds. Now you can do 3 minutes. Some people can do 10 minutes. Okay. Like, we're seeing the progression towards longer form content because people are really enjoying storytelling and hearing stories from creators that they want to connect with, right? So, in 30 seconds, I can only tell so much of a story, but in 3 minutes, I can definitely tell like a pretty solid story there. So if you I have to say another thing about long form content before we go further. When you think of long form content, don't think it needs to be a 25-minute YouTube video. Long form content could be literally 3 minutes, a 3-minute YouTube video, and it doesn't even have to be horizontal. It could be literally a TikTok video that you make that is a vertical video and it's 3 minutes long and you put it on YouTube. That is long form content. Okay, it doesn't have to be this crazy like big production. So that was something that was kind of a roadblock for me that I think is important for you to consider. Obviously, it's able to kind of help you connect with your audience a little bit better with long form content because you have longer to actually talk with them and get them to interact, right? You can add more value and be more comprehensive in what you're sharing with them. I also love the idea of creating maybe one long form piece of content that you can create multiple short videos from to post those on multiple places as well. But don't overthink this process. Don't get intimidated by long form content just because you think it has to be this long ass YouTube video. It doesn't. We had Amanda who said, I took a step back from YouTube because I thought it had to be perfect, professional, needs special equipment. Exactly. It feels like there's so many roadblocks getting onto YouTube or getting into long form content, and there really aren't. Like that is like a mindset that you put yourself in. It's a limiting belief, right? Other thing to mention quickly about YouTube, long form content is not specifically for YouTube, but with YouTube specifically, on February 1st, guys, they are going to be implementing the like a truly groundbreaking creator monetization option. We talked about it this week's podcast on Tuesday's episode with Chesco. If you guys listen to that one, that actually has a lot of really great information about YouTube and YouTube Shorts. Basically, with YouTube, they are going to be giving like a massive amount of their ad revenue split between creators. I think it was 15 times more than what YouTube pays creators per view. Like, that's huge, okay? For example, Chesco, who was on our podcast on Tuesday, he said right now he makes $6,000 a month from YouTube ads. He will be making, with this new program that they're implementing, he said probably around 15,000 per month just for ads, no brand partnerships. Like, mind blown. Is anyone else like, okay, fine, I'll get on YouTube now? And you can literally take your TikTok content and put it on YouTube. That's all he does. It's crazy. You have to just get out of the limiting belief that YouTube and long form content needs to be this big thing. It's not. It's really it's simple. It's simple. So long form content, guys, I'm going to push you there. Also, AI, okay? AI is probably something that you've heard a lot of buzz about maybe in the last few months. There are some ways that us as creators right now can use what's available to us for free right now. For anyone who doesn't know, AI is artificial intelligence. It's basically like code that's written and can help us put things together or like create things. That's like a very, very, very simple way to explain it. Now, there is a website. If you go to chat.openai.com, the website that's here, basically you can literally talk back and forth to like basically a robot, okay, like a computer, and it can help you literally create things. Okay, like let me give you an example of this. So AI can help you come up with content ideas, write captions, proofread your content. I mean, it's crazy. I will tell you, even putting together this presentation, I was like, give me 5 bullet points about storytelling. And I just picked the ones that I liked. And I literally, like, no thought was required. And so this can help you save so much time. I actually saw an example of someone who said she was a fitness, like a nutrition fitness trainer, whatever. And she basically would go into this, it's called Chat GPT. She would go on there and she would say, make me a meal plan for someone who is dairy free, eats 1,700 calories per day, like put in all the macros. And it created a meal plan. Literally just like that. Like, just like that. It's crazy. Now, one thing that I think is very important to talk about with AI is that it needs to be used in conjunction with human creativity and judgment because it's still a computer at the end of the day, guys. Like, we still need to, like, make sure what it's telling us is, like, accurate and relevant. Like, it could be not. And so it's very important that, yes, you use that for, like, a starter point, but you're still gonna have to, like, go through and do some work with it. But it still saves you so much time. So AI is incredible. This website, chat.openai.com, it's called ChatGPT. If you guys look it up online, just Google it, and you will absolutely love it. I see a message here, Divine Mamahood. If you send me an Instagram DM at KBOUSQ, I can definitely help you out. All right, guys, so that's AI. Do you guys have any questions about AI? Has anyone tried it yet? Has anyone tried this Chat GPT thing? It's insane. It's kind of creepy, honestly. Like all those movies we watched when we were younger about like what the world was going to be like with all this technology, like we're stepping into it. It's kind of creepy. Let me see if I missed any comments here. Jenny said, I feel like I've done really well with my channel just using my iPhone and iMovie for editing. It's not the best, but I don't think my particular audience cares. I mean, that's fine. Like, it doesn't have to be crazy, you know? Yeah, I mean, you guys are already playing around with it. Magic Write on Canva. Yes, Notion also just came out with like an AI. It's called Notion AI. So there's so many different ways that you guys can use AI. But if you've never used it, go play around with it like right after we get off because it's really fun. It's really cool. Next few things that we're going to talk about, I think 2 more things. This year, if you are looking to go through this journey where you can end up being a creator who is confident who knows their stuff, who is really, really like a professional, like a very well-rounded business owner or creator, you have to be educated. There is no way that you're going to be a creator who's negotiating $10,000 partnerships if you don't understand how to read a contract. You have to spend time educating yourself. There's literally no way around it. And when I say educating yourself, I don't just mean watching a few TikTok videos where people, I understand, like I do, like I am this person who comes on and teaches on TikTok. But like, how do you know that I'm legit? You know, like you watch TikTok videos where you don't have any context. Obviously, you guys, if you're here, you know more about me and you know that I do actually, in fact, know what I'm talking about. But there are plenty of people who don't. And they're teaching you things that are crazy. Like the amount of times I see TikTok videos where people are like, yeah, for UGC, I charge $150 a video. And I'm literally like, stop telling people this. Ah, like it drives me crazy, okay? So, all of that to say, all of that to say, when you are educating yourself, find someone who has proven that they can successfully educate someone. Do they have proof that someone has been educated by them and has got to a certain point? Or is there any solid evidence that they've worked with brands and actually made money? You guys have to understand there are so many people out there with coaching who are frauds. Like so many people who are like, "Oh, I can just talk about UGC. It's a really hot topic right now. Why don't I?" And so you need to spend time vetting who's going to be educating you, but also spending the time to actually look into educating yourself. Um, yes, social proof is a huge deal. I agree with that. So for the sake of this conversation, being a sponge, right? How can you educate yourself this year? What are the things that you feel like if you knew more about, you'd be like, okay, I got this. A lot of times, what I hear from people is like negotiation or reading contracts or rates, setting rates. Like these are all little like areas that you may be lacking expertise in. You know, those are the areas. Put it on your business plan for the year. I'm going to learn more about X, Y, and Z. And once you are able to dedicate time to learning more about these things, you will have the tools that you need to be successful. Okay. But I'm telling you right now, you cannot get where you want to go without spending time and energy and money and effort educating yourself. Um, Amanda said, if I see one more how I made 10K in UGC on my first week, truly, Amanda, truly. That is setting such unrealistic expectations. It makes me want to scream. Madeline said, LinkedIn Learning has shocked me with their social media trainings. That's amazing. That's a really great resource for people to check out. Also, I have to mention this book. And if you guys have been in Social Suite, you've definitely already heard me talk about this. If you've listened to the podcast, you've probably already heard me talk about this. The book Superfans. Has anyone ever heard of it or read it? Okay, like it's such a good book. I usually have it on my desk, but I was reading it actually last night. So, Superfans is a book by Pat Flynn. If you guys don't know Pat Flynn, he's just an incredible digital creator, digital entrepreneur. Sorry, the dogs are going again. But Pat Flynn wrote this book called Superfans, and it essentially teaches you how to build this community that is so, so strong that they are just super fans for you and your content. And they tell all of their friends, and like it's just like a spiral. What is it called? Oh my gosh, what is the word called? Where it goes, you know, it goes down the pipeline, right? They tell all their friends, they tell their friends. A chain reaction. That's the word I was looking for. And that is such a good book for you to figure out how to do that. Yes, get it on Audible, get it on. I'll drop a link in the Facebook group after for a link to this book. My gosh, it's so, so, so good. It's such a quick read too. It's great. Also, again, shameless plug, like guys, we have a really great community where you get your community, you get that group of people that's going to help you get through all these problems, but you also get an incredible amount of resources. We have this whole page in our membership that's literally like resources, tutorials, ebooks. Like, I mean, I updated it this morning. There will be a new post in there tomorrow. We update it very frequently, and there's everything you could need in there. to be successful. It's like a massive amount of information, and we update it every single month. There's new stuff in there every month. You also have access to me through messaging as well. So if you are part of Social Suite, anytime you have a question, you need help looking through a contract, you're like, Kristen, what the heck does this mean? You have access to me as part of the membership to ask all of these questions to. So you've got me holding your hand literally the whole way through. So I'm gonna give you actually something really special at the end if you're thinking about joining Social Scoop, or Social Suite. So wait a minute before you sign up. Yes, I love to hear that Hannah is part of our membership. She said I reference the resources almost daily. There's literally like it's. I'm actually trying to find a way to make it less overwhelming, all the information that's in there, because there's so much that it's like you look at it and you're like, where do I start? This is a lot. I think this is the last thing that I want to talk about today is utilizing SEO. So we've heard a lot of buzz, maybe last half of the year, about SEO, especially on TikTok. Search engine optimization is what SEO is. It's going to increase the visibility of your content. So you can use this. I'm going to show you on TikTok and Instagram, kind of like best places to utilize SEO. But it's everywhere, right? So TikTok, using relevant hashtags, keywords in your caption, keywords in the actual video itself, speaking the words out loud, crazy, are all different ways that you can utilize SEO on TikTok. Instagram, pretty similar. You can use an Instagram bio and headline, hashtags and captions, and then text that's actually in the video. So with SEO, actually Austin, who's in here, I literally love that she commented, yay, SEO. Austin is the SEO queen. She actually taught me a lot about SEO. I took her course. So if you guys are like, what the hell is SEO? I don't know. I'm confused. She has a really great course. I think it was like under $100 or right around $100. And I took it and loved it. So that would be a really great resource for you guys if you want to learn more about this. Essentially, what SEO is, it's search engine optimization. So what would someone type into Google or into TikTok search bar, into Instagram search bar in order to find you in that video? So maybe if you're making a video about how to set your rates, you make sure in the caption somewhere you say, here's how to set your rates, because how to set your rates might be that search term, right? And then you can also put it on text in the video, all of these things. So that's SEO in short. But again, there's so much that you can learn about SEO. Austin's course is a really great resource. Guys, we have reached the end of all the things that I want you to know about 2023, but we're going to dive into questions. Before we get there, I wanted to give you guys this exclusive deal for people that are looking at or we're attending this workshop. So if you guys want to check out Social Suite, it is our private creator community. You've got community, you've got education and resources, and you have a coach there with you literally whenever you need me. I literally am in there all day answering people's messages. That's where I spend a majority of my time. So that is how you can be a part of Social Suite. And then while we are nearing the end, we have about 15 minutes left. Again, I'll chill if you guys have a lot of questions. But in the last 15 minutes, I wanted to answer any questions that you guys have about what we learned, about being a creator, about monetizing, contracts, negotiations, like anything that you guys have questions with. I am here to answer them for the next 15 or so minutes. So you can drop them in the chat wherever you are watching, wherever you are listening, and I will do my best to answer all of these questions. How's everyone feeling? Do you guys feel like I just threw so much information at you? Are you overwhelmed? I know we have a little lag, so I'm just gonna chill for a second. So one thing I'll say, if you are joining in now and you missed a bunch of what we went over today, there will be a replay in our Facebook group. So if you're not in the Facebook group yet, you'll definitely want to get in there. It's in the link in my profile, so you can check it out there. Pauline said, I'd love to know more about the no pitch strategy course. So yes, this is the anti-pitch method. Now, let me tell you guys a couple quick things. I did kind of give you the gist of what anti-pitch is. It's a 35 minute video that literally goes through all of the steps. And I will send that to anyone who sends me a message on Instagram just asking for anti-pitch method masterclass link. I'll send that to you. One thing I will tell you as well, that goes over the very basics. We are actually at the end of February going to be launching a full course, a very affordable full course about monetizing with brand collaborations. And the anti-pitch method is definitely a huge part of that. So that's something to look out for the future. But if you want to just hear more about the anti-pitch method today, just send me a message on Instagram and I will send you the link to that. No questions, but love the motivational spark this gave me for 2023. Yes, that's what I wanted. Good. So we have Myrna who said, how do you share a blog post to your socials easy? So if you're someone who's blogging and you want to take basically your social media following and get them over to that blog, my best way to kind of do that, or my best suggestion would be to basically give kind of like a sliver of value in your Instagram post, your TikTok post, whatever it is, and then be like, the whole thing is here. So, for example, I do this in my newsletters a lot. In my newsletter, I might say like, "Wow, this is so crazy that this creator, learned." Actually, just wrote one out. I'm thinking of the one I wrote out for Tuesday. This creator learned how to make $6,000 a month. It's so crazy. They didn't even have any brand partnerships. If you want to know how to do it, you got to go listen to this week's podcast episode. So that is basically how I would kind of like get people excited and initiate that kind of like connection to go over to the blog. Then we also had a question here. Oops, let's see. Oh my gosh, cooperate, Facebook. Amanda said, I have really found a love for product photography and aesthetic videos. Do you think photos have a place on Instagram still? Or I don't know, you didn't say on Instagram, but if you think photos still have a place. I definitely do. I think that they are obviously phasing out, unfortunately. But brands are always, 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 always going to have a need for photos. There's plenty of places that they cannot put a video, that it needs to be a photo. So I would say, like, if you're a UGC creator, I think pitching photos is still great. There are again still brands that are going to need them. For your own personal use, like on Instagram or whatever. I actually just had a conversation with someone who's in our membership. She is like a food creator and she creates videos, but she said her photos always perform better, her carousels. And so for some people, photos are still performing better. So I would say test both, like if you really love product photography, keep doing it, just keep pitching it. I don't think that there's any reason that you should just like only do video if you really have this passion for photography. There's a place for it. It's just a matter of finding the people who need it, right? Let's see. Austin said, I was making lunch earlier on, but I thought I saw a slide about AI. Yes. Can you give me the 30-second summary of your thoughts on it? So AI is really great because you can kind of like make the process of creating or writing your caption or writing a blog post faster. However, I think you have to be a little weary of it still because it's a computer writing it, like, and if you want it to sound like the way that you talk to your audience, or you want it to make sure that the facts that it's telling you are actually like facts that your audience would care about, you still have to go through and make sure that it's what you want to say. I personally use it as a starting point. So I might say, all right, I want to write an Instagram post about SEO, and then I'll ask ChatGPT, okay, can you give me like 10 bullet points about why people should utilize SEO? And so I'll take those bullet points and I'll be like, okay, I like this one, this one, and this one. And then I like rewrite it kind of in my own voice. But it really does help you with like ideation and kind of that process. I personally wouldn't be like copying and pasting it and just, like sharing it like that. I think there definitely has to be like a human touch over it. Megan said, I'm curious about your thoughts on the creator economy, brand budgets with inflation, layoffs in mind. Have you seen a drop so far? Megan, I will tell you, from probably November on, every single creator that I've talked to that typically has no problem getting brand partnerships, everyone is really struggling. I'm sure that has a lot to do, of course, with the economy. What I would say for creators in this time with our economy, first things first, I think you have to learn to maybe be a little bit more lenient with your rates, if you want to keep up with partnerships, like if you want to be able to pay your bills pretty much. A lot of brands are going to have smaller budgets, especially brands that rely very heavily on consumers purchasing. Like for me, I work with a lot of tech brands that businesses are buying. So like if the businesses still need the product, like that's not going to be like a huge issue. But think about like what are the things we don't need, right? Like clothing brands, for example. Like we all have clothes. We really don't need any new clothes, right? But there are going to be some decisions that customers have to make this year, probably making more money, getting laid off, whatever. They're going to have to make decisions on what they purchase. And so things that are a little bit more like frivolous or maybe unnecessary, it's going to be harder for people to get partnerships with those brands because they're not going to, in many situations, be putting as much money into their marketing budgets. Um, Obviously, they can't most brands aren't just gonna stop working with creators. It's obviously, like, it's a great way for them to get the word out about their business, and again, like, one TikTok creator creates a video for them about their product, it could completely blow their business up, and, like, that's what they need during inflation, right? So, they're still going to be putting money into creators, but maybe just be a little bit more, like, choosy with who they work with or with their budgets, so just be a little bit more open-minded is what I would say. Also, again, going back to anti-pitch, like work with these companies long term, build relationships with them. If you are someone who's been able to build a relationship with a brand for 6 months, when they do have any money to spend, who are they going to want to spend it on? Someone that they don't even know is going to create a good video or answer their emails, or someone that they've worked with for 6 months who they can count on to do good work, you know? Like it makes sense. It's like common sense things like these. Show people that you're loyal and you're dedicated to them and you have the same mission to them and you'll probably see a good turnout. And this is why I love the anti-pitch method so much because like it protects us a little bit more in these, economic situations. So I hope that answers your question. Um yeah, I mean, Rachel said my photos and posts always outperform my reels. See, like for some people, photo is it, and that's fine. Like whatever works for you, you just keep going with it. Smaller budgets, will that translate to smaller creators getting more of a chance? I mean, I don't think it has anything to do with budgets. Smaller creators right now are it. Like brands, I just had a conversation on the podcast with someone about this recently. Follower count like matters so little, guys. Like it's a brand wants to come to your page and be able to see like, wow, this creator has such an engaged community. Look at all these comments. Like look at like they're actually talking about things that like answering the question that's in the caption. Like they want to see community more than they want to see followers. So I would put all your focus this year in building a community. That's why I think storytelling is going to be so important. Let people into your lives, build relationships, build connections with them. And then, like it's so much easier for them to be a part of your community and brands will see that and appreciate that. So truly, I think this year being smaller is probably going to be more beneficial than being like this huge, 500,000 follower plus creator because that feels very expensive to a brand. Yes, but also we don't even know if all 500,000 of those followers actually care about what this person is sharing. I would much rather I'll give you an example, guys. It's 2023. Since 2020, so what, we're like 2 years and some odd months. Since 2020, I have literally been on Instagram right around the same following count. I've gone up, I've gone down, I'm right where I started. And I used to get so, so, so upset about that. But now I literally don't care because I still make the money that I need to make. I work with all the brands that I want to work with. Why do I need more followers? So like make it again, it's a limiting belief. Make it a mindset shift that you make that you don't care about following. If you focus on creating a community, your following will come. Like if you're storytelling and you're bringing people into your lives, they're going to want to be there, right? So I'm gonna get off my rant now, but I truly think it is such a limiting belief. If you're a smaller creator, I don't care how many followers you have, don't let your follower count stop you from pitching. Don't let your follower count stop you from connecting with brands or anything. It's a freaking number, you know? I know it means so much to us because it always has meant so much to us, but like it's a mindset shift we have to make, right? Um any other questions that you guys have? I hear a little pause over here, so I'm gonna see who this is. We've got Muggsy. What other questions do you guys have? We've got a few more minutes left. Do you want to say hi to Muggsy? Oh, you guys love Muggsy. You know, we started like a Muggsy fan club on my Instagram stories as of recently. This is Muggsy. Okay, but wait, let me show you something. Oh, let me put Muggsy down. Let me show you something else, okay? Look at this little wiener. Guys, look at this little wiener dog. I don't have a name for her yet. So, she was found in the middle of the road. Oh, are you sleepy? She was found in the middle of the road. I work with a rescue, so she was given to our rescue. And basically, we're waiting until 2 weeks have gone by for her stray hold. So if anyone claims her in the next 2 weeks, she'll go back home. But if no one claims her, then she gets put up for adoption with our rescue. She doesn't have a name yet. She's so cute. She's a Chewini. Okay, bye. Your breath smells. I have a question here from, yes, there will be a replay. Jenny said, I love that smaller creators have better engagement, but I found my low follower count around 2,000 has limited me because I've been turned down right away when they see I don't have more. For example, I don't qualify for Aspire IQ. Any thoughts? I mean, one thing that I'll tell you, I understand that struggle 100%, and I think it's very valid. But what I'm saying is don't like create content specifically to gain followers. Create content to build community. Like, again, tell stories and things like that. Don't make a video just because you saw someone else made a video that got a bunch of likes and you're like, ooh, I'll get a bunch of followers from this. Make content that is going to, that you would be like, ooh, this is going to really spark conversation, or ooh, people are really going to like want to give their input on this. Whatever it is, like make those kind of pieces of content, because that is what's going to show people this is where we talk about things like this. Like, your input matters here. Become part of this little community. And again, then they're going to want to follow. So your follower count will grow, but I'm just saying to put the focus on the content rather than the focus on just like looking at that number and being like, I have to grow, right? The larger my following grows, the more my engagement drops. Yeah, I mean, like, that's another point too, and that's very, very standard. That happens with most people. I mean, it is a double-edged sword. It's like, do you want the following or do you want the engagement? For me, like I said, I'm cool being at the same follower count because my engagement is like totally fine. I'm gonna leave it where it is. If it gets better, awesome. Like, if I grow, I don't want it to go down. So it is kind of like a trade-off. Obviously, the goal is like you're growing while your engagement rate is staying the same or also growing. And I think for that to happen, again, it's storytelling. It's bringing people into your community. It's showing your personality. I mean, think about the people on TikTok, on Instagram, wherever, that you love following. What do they do? What do you love about them? You probably love that you feel like you're their friend. You know, I was just talking to someone about this yesterday when we were recording a podcast episode. I was saying, I think it's so funny how sometimes if I have someone I watch on Instagram or on TikTok all the time, if I'm explaining that person to Andrew, I'll say, oh yeah, my friend Brittany. And I've like had 2 conversations with this person, but I feel like she's my friend. What, girl? I feel like she's my friend because, you know, I've been able to like be part of her world. You know what I'm saying? Does that make sense, guys? Come here. Kiki, we haven't, oh God, shown you yet. And then Queen Kiki is the last here. I have 3 psychotic dogs running around my house right now, so I'm sorry I had to open the door, guys, but they were just going to knock at the door the whole time. Hi, Kiana. So, guys, I hope this was helpful. I will be posting a repost or a replay of this. I'm using a new streaming software right now, so I'm not exactly sure how it's going to work. So give me some time on that. But again, I really, really hope this was helpful for you guys. I hope that I see you in Social Suite. That is where your transformation is going to start. I'm going to be there to help you. You have an 70 plus other creators part of this community that are also going to help you and be there for you. So I'm so excited to see you guys there. If you have any questions, please let me know. If you want the link to that masterclass or the book I was talking about, send me a message on Instagram. And I am so excited for this year, guys. 2023 is going to be amazing. I'm pumped. So let me know if there's anything that I can do to help you guys out on your journey. And that's it. I'm going to go wrangle up these dogs and try and eat some lunch. So wish me luck. We'll see how it goes. All right. Bye, guys.